Welcome to today's Explainer, guys. We're going to break down Ruskin Bond's classic narrative, The Thief's Story. And look, I know what you might be thinking. Just another story about a robbery, right? Actually, scratch that. It's way more than that. It's an absolute masterclass in human psychology, internal conflict, and, well, moral transformation. So whether you're studying this for an exam or you're just someone fascinated by the sheer unpredictability of the human mind, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to map out exactly how, and more importantly why, a person can fundamentally change.
But before we jump right into the plot, I want you to keep one central question in the back of your mind. Can absolute trust reform a hardened criminal? It's a heavy question, right? But this single idea drives the entire emotional arc of our story. See, we usually think of punishment, or, the police, as the main deterrence to crime. But here, Ruskin Bond is asking us to consider a completely different, honestly, much more radical approach.
All right, part one, meet the odd pair. Let's see how this all kicks off.
So, our two totally different main characters actually collide at a local wrestling match, of all places. On one side, we've got Anil. He's 25, tall, lean, and just an incredibly easygoing guy. He's a struggling writer who makes money by fits and starts. Basically, his income is a total roller coaster. He's borrowing one week and lending the next. Then on the flip side, we have our narrator. He goes by Hari Singh, but spoiler alert, that's a total lie. This kid is 15, but he is already a highly experienced, calculating thief. Literally, he changes his name every single month just to stay one step ahead of the cops and his former employers. So, Hari spots Anil at this wrestling match and immediately pegs him as the perfect, easy mark for his next con.
Hari walks right up, flatters him a bit, and basically begs for a job. Now, Anil is flat broke. He definitely can't afford to pay a salary, but they strike a deal anyway. If Hari can cook, Anil will feed him. There's just one tiny problem here. Hari's cooking is an absolute disaster. I mean, the first meal he makes is so bad that Anil literally gives it to a stray dog and tells Hari to hit the road. But Hari, he just hangs around, flashing the super appealing smile. And Anil, being the soft-hearted guy he is, just laughs it off. He can't bring himself to kick the kid out. Instead, he takes him under his wing. He teaches him how to cook, how to add numbers, and, this is the real game changer, how to write his name and whole sentences.
And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates our first major takeaway. The true currency in this household, it isn't money, it's education. Hari, even as a hardened street thief, immediately gets how valuable this is. He realizes, if he learns to write like an educated man, there would be absolutely no limit to what he could pull off. He wouldn't just be some petty thief anymore, he could become someone respected. It's like a whole new world just opened up for him.
Which brings us to part two, the midnight theft. Because, as we know, old habits die hard. So Hari settles into this nice little routine. He's making tea, buying groceries, and secretly skimming about ₹1 a day for himself, which, by the way, Anil definitely knows about, but just totally ignores. But soon enough, Hari's criminal instincts get put to the ultimate test. One evening, Anil comes home holding a bundle of 600 rupees from selling a book. To put that into perspective, for a 15-year-old street thief back then, 600 rupees is just an unimaginably massive sum of money. Hari watches like a hawk as Anil tucks the cash safely under his mattress. And instantly, Hari's internal monologue kicks into overdrive. He's justifying it to himself, thinking, hey, I haven't done any real work in a month. If I don't take it, he's just going to waste it on his friends anyway. Plus, the guy doesn't even pay me.
So here we are at the critical moment. Hari makes the call to break Anil's trust. It's late at night, moonlight is spilling across the bed, and Hari slowly creeps up. Anil is sleeping so peacefully, and Hari actually takes a second to notice this. He sees that Anil's face is completely clear and unlined, totally free of worry. Meanwhile, his own young face is already covered in scars. Pretty symbolic, right? Without making a single sound, Hari slides his hand under the mattress, grabs the stack of notes, and pulls them out.
Now, Hari is a pro, so his escape plan is basically down to a science. Step 1, secure the cash. Done. Step 2, run to the station and hop on the 10:30 Lucknow Express. Step 3, vanish and live in absolute luxury. He does the math and figures out that with 600 rupees in 50s, he can live like an oil-rich Arab for at least a week or two. He bolts out of the house, ties the cash into the drawstring of his pajamas, and makes a beeline for the train station.
But then, we hit part 3, a thief's dilemma. And this is where things get really interesting.
He dashes right onto the platform just as the Lucknow Express is starting to pick up speed. But he doesn't get on. He could have easily jumped into one of those carriages no problem, but he hesitates. And you know what the most fascinating part is? He admits he hesitates for a reason he can't even put his finger on. He just stands there, totally frozen, watching his flawless getaway literally roll out into the night. And suddenly, the reality sets in. He is completely alone on a freezing, deserted platform.
With nowhere else to go, Hari wanders into a nearby bazaar and slumps down on a bench. A chilling November rain starts coming down, totally soaking his clothes and, worst of all, the stolen cash. Sitting there shivering, he starts reflecting on his career as a thief. He's made a whole study of how men react when they're robbed. Greedy men, they show fear. Rich men show anger. Poor men just show acceptance. But Anil? Hari realizes Anil's face isn't going to show any of those things. When Anil wakes up and discovers the money is gone, he's just going to look sad. And the kicker? It won't be about the money. It's going to be about that profound loss of trust.
As the rain keeps falling, sudden clarity just hits him. That realization brings us to the absolute moral crux of the chapter. Hari suddenly remembers the education he's throwing away. In all the adrenaline of the heist, he totally forgot about learning to write those whole sentences. He realizes, stealing is easy, getting caught is easy, but to be a really big man, a clever and genuinely respected man in society, that takes an education. So right there in the rain, Hari weighs a quick 600 rupees against the lifelong dignity of learning, and guess what? Education wins.
So let's look at how this resolves in Part 4, Redemption and Takeaway.
Driven by this massive wave of guilt and this powerful new craving to actually be somebody respectable, Hari makes a really gutsy choice. He sneaks right back into Anil's room. And let me tell you, it is way harder to return stolen goods without getting caught than it is to steal them in the first place. Trembling, literally feeling Anil's breath on his hand, he slides those damp, rain-soaked notes right back under the mattress. The next morning, Hari wakes up late. Anil's already up, he's already made tea, and he stretches his hand out toward Hari. And right there, pinched between his fingers, is a crisp 50-rupee note. Hari's heart just bottoms out. He's convinced he's been caught. This moment of intense suspense just hangs in the air for a second. Is Anil going to call the cops? What actually happens when a victim confronts their thief?
Well, Anil calmly explains that he made some money yesterday, and from now on, Hari's actually going to get paid a regular wage. But when Hari takes the note, he feels it. It's still wet from last night's rain. Anil knows. He knows exactly what Hari did, but neither his lips nor his eyes give anything away. Instead of yelling, instead of doling out punishment or calling the police, Anil just looks at him and says, "Today we'll start writing sentences." It's just this incredible, profound act of forgiveness. He gives this kid a genuine second chance. And in response, Hari smiles at Anil, but this time it's not that fake, calculating thief smile. It's a genuine, effortless one.
Now, for all the students listening to this explainer, you're definitely going to want to take mental notes here. These are the core themes you need to anchor your exam answers around. First, you've got to talk about the transformative power of education, how it gave Hari a vision for a future beyond the streets. Then, definitely discuss the psychological mechanics of trust. Breaking that trust caused Hari way more agony than any fear of the police ever could. Also, make sure you highlight Anil's choice to use forgiveness over punishment because that is what actually secured Hari's loyalty in the end. And finally, contrast Hari's intense internal conflict with the external duality of our two main characters.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on today. What really holds more power to change a person? Is it the heavy threat of punishment, or is it the unbelievable weight of unconditional trust? Through the brilliant contrast of Anil and Hari, Ruskin Bond proves that sometimes radical kindness and absolute trust aren't signs of weakness at all. Actually, they just might be the most effective weapons we have against the life of crime. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, guys. Keep questioning what truly drives the human heart, and I'll catch you next time.